People, Deluded, I'm back again. Thank you very much for tuning back in, people. Now, I've spoken about this, and maybe I'm making this extended video, a bit late, but we all know, sadly, what happened to us, Tutu, playing in a friendly in pre-season against St. Gallen, forgive me for mispronunciations, in which facts are coming out now that it was a player who abused him and referred to him as a black something. I'm not gonna... Yeah, man, there's no need to go down there and repeat slurs. To be honest, it doesn't matter if you call them a black this, a black that, the N-word, whatever. They still got the same correlations. They all hit home. It's sad to say, I say Tutu, this is the first, but by no means the last of racial incidences that will potentially happen to you at club level. And again, I know he's got Ghanaian heritage and English heritage, whichever one he plays for, if he can reach that level, he will keep experiencing these prejudices. I would love to sit here and say that I want racism to end. I really do. We all know racism is nothing more than a cancerous disease of the brain because it robs you of logic. I mean, really and truly, you have to be extremely retarded to think someone is any better or worse than a man or woman based on the amount of pigment they've got in their skin. Whether it's obviously, if you're from an African nation, you're going to have more pigment typically, and the same, you get the other example. It's silly. Rather than judge someone on their principles, morals and things like that, it's a cancerous thing. But such is society, whether it's class, age, nationalities. People always want to pit people over another, and to be fair, I guess racism boils down to insecurities, really and truly. Deep-rooted insecurities. Like I said, it's an illogical disease. I do believe racists should be educated, but I'm not going to be the one to do that, because I believe in 2019, if you're being racist, you're competent and knowledgeable enough to know it's stupid. So back to Osei Tutu. It's sad, people. It's sad. You obviously seen the pictures. He was quite distraught when he was crying and things like that. And how do you react to it? It's happened to me. Never on a football pitch, but it's happened to me in life. You feel anger. You feel anguish. You feel sadness, of course. You're genuinely confused. And I can't explain the other feelings that come over you, but days after it's happened, you're still thinking about it. Like, you're just like, why? Like, you are meant. There's many different, like, it's rattling people, really and truly. And I sympathize with him. Like, it was Osei Tutu, but I mean, I'm a young black man. That could have been my brother or my sister or my cousin or this, that, and the other, or a friend or whatever. It's sad, man. It's sad. And an incident actually happened to me. I got a video about it not too long ago. I should bring it out. Apologies for shaking the screen. But St. Gallen, like you would see, clubs more. It's harder to condemn a person for actually being racist than it's harder to condemn your own player rather than act like it didn't happen. And St. Gallen, who I looked at them on transfer market, they've got around 5 or 6 black players that are from countries, different African countries, and you've got South American nations like Brazil. I would love to know how they felt, how they reacted to this following statement, or just knowing one of their teammates is racist. FC St. Gallen 1879 makes it very clear that it strongly condemns all forms of racism and discrimination. Such misconduct would be sanctioned immediately. Our players have a respectful relationship with each other, regardless of origin, skin color, or religion. In a clarifying conversation with the managers, the player concerned credibly assured that he also adhered to this club's principle yesterday in the match versus Busham. So this is what racism's become, people. Whether he said it or not, we all know he probably did, but let's just stay out of that because I weren't officially there. We all know when it comes to racism, people are more concerned with, rather than fixing the actual problems or calling things out, they're more happy to try and do damage limitation. People are happy to be racist but not be called racist because such is the negative PR and things like that. I mean, this is sickening. This is disgraceful, man. I mean, it is what it is. It's a kick in the teeth. And like I said, Osei Tutu is one thing, but how did these players feel? Because again, regardless of if you're on the other team or not, you are young ethnic minority players. How do you feel if your team is not even identifying it? Again, maybe they denied it in public, dealt with it in private. That could be a thing, but I strongly doubt it, and I'm not there to verify that. So we don't know if things will change. FIFA has introduced I meant to do this video a while ago, people, as you can see, but FIFA have introduced some new rules in regards to a lot of things, but tackling racism. And a couple of parts that I found relevant, people. In short, referees will have the authority to abandon a game. There's certain stipulations, but referees will have the ability to abandon a game if supporters are found guilty of racism. And I'm not too sure, but I'm sure that must extend to the players. Now, first and foremost, in principle, that sounds good, people, and it is a step in it. You'd think fans, supporters, you got to fix up because you might ruin it for your team. But by the same token, whether the ref hears it or not, I'm not criticising any ref or not saying if they don't do it, they're cowards and stuff. but it will take a lot, people, and it's a lot of pressure to place at the shoulders or on the shoulders of one single referee, because you know the PR, rightly or wrongly, the PR that's going to follow, the decision that's going to follow, the talk that's going to follow, potentially maybe not even reffing again. We all have to consider these things. It's almost like it could move away from the actual incident to focusing on the referee, and the referee would have to have strong morals and things. And you've seen blatant things on footage and referees are denying it and things. So in principle it sounds good. It's a lot of pressure on a referee, and as much as whether rightly or wrongly did they hear it, do I think many people in life will have the courage to do things? No. So how can it change in regards to the referee? But a little bit of the statement I copied and pasted for you guys. Let's carry on. The scope, definition and content of our anti-discrimination and anti-racism vision have been fully aligned with the highest international standards, including the prosecution of any discrimination on the account of race, skin color, ethnic, national or social origin, gender, disability, sexual orientation, language, religion, political opinion, wealth, birth, or any other status or any other reason. As a general rule, a match is automatically forfeited if the referee decides to abandon it after having applied the 3-step procedure for disciplinary incidences. Wow, that was a mouthful. Apologies, people. I've got to switch hands. My hand's dying. Apologies for shaking the screen. Should really buy one of them anti-shake things. As a general rule, I've already said that bit. For reoffenders involved in racism or discriminatory incidences, or if the circumstances of the case require it, the disciplinary measures now include the implementation of prevention plan to foster education on diversity and fight discrimination in football. Also, FIFA's disciplinary committee, may permit the victim to make a statement allowing the latter to participate in proceedings. What am I doing? I'm moving like I can't read. FIFA will not let down victims of racist abuse. Now, I mean, like I said, any step is a step in the right direction. We're probably about 30, 40, maybe even 50 years from tackling racism as a whole. Racism will always exist as long as the human race exists. There'll always be, if it's not racism, it's sexism. If it's not that, it's some other way of diversifying ourselves and people trying to put people ahead of everybody. Progress is progress on one hand, people. I won't even call it progress, but at least it's being spoken about now, I guess. The last sentence about FIFA will not let down victims of racial abuse is very condescending, because we've been here, both in this country, abroad, all different levels, all different walks. I mean, how many racial incidences have I reported on and you've seen yourself, people? So it's very naive. It's a very good call to action, and it kind of follows. Again, I would like to say things actually happen, but it somewhat follows in, sorry, people making noise, people. It very much follows in the feel-good, really do nothing sort of thing that people want to go with. We all know the fancy banners, say no to racism, the T-shirts, the fancy laces and whatnot, and then the next day it's not done. People, like I said, on one hand, people that are racist, they don't want to actually be seen as racist. They're more rather than fixing their own idiotic racist ways, they're more concerned with damage limitation. People also are more concerned with, rather than fixing racism or talking about it, people are more concerned with feel-good, do-nothing factors. I'm not criticizing the togetherness that wearing the same T-shirt, saying no to racism and all of these things do, but is the definition of insanity, people, not doing the same thing over and over again and not expecting different results. I don't know what can fix racism, and I think if any one person thinks they can fix racism in society, and in this video in regards to football, then they're mad. But what I do know is that these T-shirts and these little statements and these nice little clips of players of all different ethnic minorities talking into a clip and saying say no to racism, yeah, there's a heartfelt message, but the next day everyone takes off the T-shirt and life continues. We all know it's nice to see, like I said, the ref can walk away from games. I don't know what measures can happen, people, because stadium banning, I've spoken to some people who work in stadiums, and it's near enough impossible in regards to football to ban people from stadiums. I mean, you can ban someone, but will they keep coming in is a different thing. So I don't know if racism will truly ever be fixed, people, but it's a step in the right direction. In regards to, I say, Tutu, hold your head high, man. Don't let this guy, because I know what's going to happen to him, because it happened to me. When you are racially abused, you might violently mash up the guy, you might, deal with it, but when you get home and you get beyond the fact of thinking like, right, he's an idiot, you just think like, why? Like, not even that, it stays on your mind. And obviously, if it stays on your mind, it can affect you. And I'll say Tutu, I want him to stay the same way he probably went over there to Butchum to play for them with some confidence. I want him to stay with that confidence, man. It's nice to see they stood by him as well. Obviously, it weren't in the country he was playing in, but regardless if he's in an international country or in England, racism is something he's going to have to deal with. And to be fair, all I can do is say just know these people are smaller than you, innit? That's all I can say. There's no point saying keep your head up. All I can do is say develop some thick skin. Not saying thick skin because it's right, because purely just to save yourself, because I know how it feels. If I was of a different mindset, when that person called me the N-word, I dealt with it in a different way than he could. But when he called me the N-word, if I was a different guy, it would have affected me more. Don't get twisted, it still was lodged in my mind, people. But it's like, I know you're a waste, man. I know you're an idiot. Like, you can't, like, it's not that I'm thick-skinned. It's like, you can't affect me, innit? No emotions from a king sort of thing. And Osei Tutu's going to have to get that, man. Because I'm sure he probably gets racial abuse in his Instagram like all the footballers do. And all sorts of nonsense, as do I do in my comments every now and again. But it's sad, man. Like I said, in regards to FIFA, it's nice to see, I guess, that they're making, I don't want to say progress, but at least that happens, innit? So at least theoretically a ref can turn off the game, and theoretically fans are more inclined, or the fans that are going to be racist and do silly things, they're more inclined to think about their steps. Whether this actually works, whether a referee actually has the bottle to do it, is a different thing. And I do think, again, I don't know all the answers, people, so I don't want to see like I'm criticising anyone, but I do think it's an unhealthy amount of pressure to put on a referee. I'm not saying I condone if a referee doesn't pull up and lock off games when he sees it. Just think logically, people. Do many people have the balls simply to do that? That's the world we live in, and I have to say no, people. If there was a way of more collectively doing it, then who knows, man. I think it's going to only stop when the players do, man. And the players are damned if they do, damned if they don't. If they walk off the pitch, the racists have won. If they stay on the pitch, the racists have won. If they don't react, the racists have won. If they react, the racists have won. So I don't know anything, people. There's not one single way to fix this, and I'm never going to sit here and pretend I know everything when I don't. I know what doesn't work, and I know what doesn't work. What works, sorry. So we'll see, man. We'll see, man. But it is what it is. It's an unhealthy, normal aspect of football, sadly. On that note, I'm going to keep it moving, man. I've really been here too long now. People, thank you for watching. DG.